We are about 15 or so miles northwest of world-famous Miami Beach as we are set for football at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. This crowd a few minutes ago stirred into action at the sight of their Dolphins emerging from the Hard Rock Stadium tunnels, and we're ready to go as the Dolphins get set to match up with the Indianapolis Colts. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. A first carry now for Kareem Hunt, and he'll have a gain of 3 to the 33. This defense for the Colts, they were terrific in the win over Tennessee a week ago.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
Play action now. Mariota got a man. That's Ayuk. So the completion there, Charles, looking at this defense, certainly in for a tough task here this afternoon. What are some of the keys for them if they want to come out on top?
Well, the first thing, partner, is they just allow a completion there. They don't want to get a string of those going. Let him get his confidence. Let him get into the rhythm of the game, the flow of the game, and all of a sudden, he's feeling like he can do no wrong. You want to really get after his timing a little bit, knock a few balls away, and make things uncomfortable for him, because if he feels relaxed, you are in for a tough afternoon.
And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40.
We saw this jumping jack make steady improvement his first 3 years in Miami, and he topped it off with 53 catches last year, career high. Now in his 4th season, I expect his numbers to continue to rise.
A first down throw for Mariota. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
On 2nd down, Mariota again. That's complete to his tight end, Mike Gesicki. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. Throw left side here, complete to the tight end, Gesicki. And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. Out of the gun, they run it with Hunt. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. Thought they might throw the football with a little chunk that they had remaining on 4th down, but they ran it, they got it.
And the reason they were able to get it done, he ran that play with conviction, didn't he? Understood he would get a little bit of help from his friends up front, but it was really on him to go ahead and make the power move and get it done, and that he did.
Now Hunt. Oh, he bowls over him. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. They'll run with Hunt on 2nd down. Hard running at the 15. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play calling. You go through all the stuff.
Touchdown! Devontae Parker, his first touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins take it right down and score on the opening drive. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 7-0. ball too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here. On first down, Newton. This one complete to his fullback out of the backfield. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
And as a quarterback, you're always pleased when you can use all the weapons at your disposal. Here he spots his fullback underneath, gets the completion right there for a nice pickup.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Here's Newton. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes a slippery slope, and it's hard to stop the fall. But I think you need to sit some guys down and say, hey, look, we're still hoping to be a playoff team this year. We need you guys to be bought in with.
The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. A hole to dig out of here, 2nd and 17. Out of the gun, Newton. Flush to his right. Caught. It's Wilson. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. The Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. Back to throw, Newton. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And this one dropped in the end zone. Looked like a touchdown, but not to be. And now it's 4th down. On 4th down, A.J. Cole comes on to punt. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. It means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Throwing, Mariota. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
Not a lot of running room there. Not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
Running with Hunt here out of the shotgun. Runs over him. Breaks the tackle, now with Allen. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he gets it to the Colts' 26.
54 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. To throw is Mariota. Gets this to Kareem Hunt, his running back. Touchdown, Dolphins! Kareem Hunt, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0.